Am I the idiot for refusing to punish my son for calling his classmates' food weird? I, 32 female, got a private text this morning from the mother of my son's 7 male classmate. She told me that apparently my son has been calling her daughter's traditional lunch weird and things as such, and apparently that is making her daughter feel uncomfortable and insecure. She asked me to please talk to my son about being more sensitive and respectful so her daughter doesn't feel excluded. Now I feel for this woman as a fellow mother. No one wants to see their child feeling sad, but overcoming insecurities is a big part of growing up. Additionally, I thought it was ridiculous of her to criticize my son, a 7-year-old, for making relatively innocuous and curious comments about food that is not familiar to him. He's at a curious age and is discovering the world, and I refuse to try and limit him and shut him down for not having the emotional sensitivity of an adult. Politely, I told that mother that I was sorry her daughter was struggling with insecurities, and I found some online parenting articles about building your child's confidence to send to her so she could use some tips to help her daughter out. She replied and said I was acting completely shamelessly and disgracefully, and I'm not able to text her anymore. Am I the idiot? You're the idiot. Teach your son better words to use. That looks different. What is it? Or, your lunch is interesting. What is it called? There is a fine line between being curious and being rude. Teach him not to be rude. Teach him not to use words like weird when looking at someone's food. You're the idiot. Talking to your son is not a punishment. It's parenting. Just tell him to stop commenting on other kids' lunches. If he can't handle that, then you should be the one consulting articles about your child's poor confidence. Is this father being overprotective? Let me know in the comments. Now, am I the idiot for asking for my birth mother's ring back after a breakup? My ex and I, mid-20s, broke up 5 months ago after a 6-month relationship. Short but serious, plus intense. We talked about marriage and kids, etc. In the final month or so together, I gave him a 24K gold band from my birth mother who passed away when I was a child, as a token of my love for him. I initially said he could keep it during the process of breaking up because I felt bad, but now I want it back, given the sentimental value. My birthday and my birth mom's death anniversary is soon, so I miss her extra. A month after the breakup, I asked for the ring back, and he didn't say no but was very unwilling to set a time, saying he was traveling most of the month. A friend spotted him during that month on a date wearing my ring. Before we could set a time, he asked for feedback on our relationship. I said that I didn't like the person I was with, loss of routines, unhealthy habits, etc., and gave some examples. Probably a paragraph in total. He initially thanked me, then woke up the next day and told me he was extremely offended. I apologized for not acknowledging the good in our relationship enough in our prior convo, to which he never responded. Since then, I've texted him twice with no response on getting the ring back. Even told him that my birth mom's death anniversary was coming up. Am I the idiot for saying he can keep it then asking for it back? Was my feedback too harsh? No idiots here. You made a huge mistake. Morally, he should give it back. However, if he doesn't want to or has sold it, there isn't much you can do. You need to own up to your actions. The mistake is yours to give something so precious, especially for a short-term relationship. Everyone sucks here. You told him he could keep it, then you backtracked on it. However, it might legally be his to keep, but given that he knows the significance, him deciding to keep it might mean he's legally in the clear, but he's still an idiot for doing it. All in all, I'm afraid you might have just learned a huge and painful lesson on why you shouldn't give treasured family mementos to someone you're not married to or in a long-term partnership with at least. Is he asking too much? Let me know in the comments. Now, would I be an idiot if I traveled while my wife took care of a 3-month-old baby? Hello, I, male 28, work at a company that has headquarters based in Europe. My team at work, 6 people total, is being flown out to Europe for 2 weeks to coordinate and prepare a product launch with our colleagues there. While we are there, my team wants to do some sightseeing, hiking, etc. I have not had the opportunity to experience another country before or travel to this extent. The issue is that after our company announced this trip, we found out my wife 29F is pregnant. We are very excited for this new adventure. The trip will be around the time our baby is 3 months old. My wife thinks that this is not a good time to go on this trip. It is possible for me to do this work remotely, so it's not that I have to go to Europe. My wife will not be working at this time, so childcare is not a concern. Our in-laws both live within 10 minutes, so we are also not without a support system in the 2 weeks. I am conflicted because on the one hand, I would love this experience, but I also know it would be unfair to leave my wife to take care of the child for 2 weeks while I'm away having fun. Reddit, would I be the idiot if I still went on this work trip? You would be an idiot. The timing is off, your wife will still be healing, your child may not be sleeping through the night yet. Feeding may not be going well. I would be hurt and angry that you would choose to have fun instead of staying home to take care of your family. You would be an idiot. There could be complications. She may take longer to physically recover than you think, and you don't know if PPD will be an issue or not. Prioritize your wife over a trip to Europe. Is he mistreating his wife? Let me know in the comments. Now, am I the idiot for reporting my schizophrenic coworker to management? I'm working with a team to collect COVID samples, so we spend a lot of time sitting around getting to know each other. One of my coworkers was sitting alone laughing. I asked her what she was laughing at. She said, "Oh, just jokes in my head, I hear voices." She said she was bipolar and schizophrenic. She told us not to worry, the voices were being nice today. She went on to say they were much meaner when she was in college. She reassured us that everything was okay because she can go long periods without medication. I worked in EMS, so I know how unpredictable an unmedicated person who is hearing voices can be. I informed the manager. One of my coworkers thought what I did was wrong because that could get her fired due to the stigmatization of mental illness. The manager also works in the medical field, so she could tell something was off. She seemed supportive of our coworker, but decided to move her to a more supportive role that had less contact with the public. Edit. I didn't mention her not wearing the proper PPE because that's a no-brainer. Also, she wasn't joking about the voices being meaner in college. She was dead serious. 99% of the psych PDs you see in EMS are super chill. They are my favorite pets. However, you're on guard because that 1% can do a lot of damage to you or themselves. Thank you for all the responses. I try my best to be self-aware, not the idiot. I suspect you could have been held legally negligent if you did not. You didn't run screaming, shouting, "Watch out, there's a loony about," and you didn't demand they be fired. You merely gave management important info so they can handle this appropriately. You're the idiot. You made an unfounded judgment based on your own bias of people who live with schizophrenia and took it upon yourself to enforce this bias. And by your own admission, society's bias too, in a situation that doesn't affect you nonetheless. Shame on you. Was your colleague acting violently or posing any risk to themselves or anyone else? No. Then no action was required by you. Now for the next story. Am I the idiot for wanting my partner to text me when he's coming home? I am introverted, and my partner and I live in a very small house. Occasionally, he works late shifts but won't text me if he is leaving early, and sometimes just shows up home unexpected when I am enjoying myself at night. I enjoy these nights of solitude, nothing to do with him. I just like having no one around, being able to walk around, do what I want, watch YouTube without headphones, listen to my music, have the lights on the way I like, do my chores in peace, not have to talk, etc. Nothing major, really, just recoup me time. He tells me I can do that whether he's here or not, which is somewhat true, but it's not the same as true solitude is bliss. He says he's too busy to text at the end of his shift, and he's not always on his phone either. He says he shouldn't be in trouble for this, and it's no big deal. I said it's very small ask that would make me happy. I just want a warning if my solitude is gonna end. So, am I the idiot? Edit. Bot asked me to clarify. This might make me the idiot if my action is seen as too high expectation, needy, selfish, unrealistic, making a mountain out of a molehill. You're the idiot. You're asking him to warn you when he is coming to his own home because you would really prefer if he would just stay at work. How do you think that would make him feel? You're the idiot, I guess. This is weird, and even I, a fellow introvert, does not understand this. Why are you living together if you're blissed out when alone? Are you not in bliss when you're together? Sit with that. Maybe you should get your own place if you crave your solitude more than living in a house together. Now, for the next story, am I the idiot for laughing at my 5-year-old nephew getting spit on by a llama at a petting zoo? During the weekend, myself, my older sister, her boyfriend, our parents, and my older sister's 5-year-old son went to a petting zoo. This was a treat for my nephew, organized by his parents. One of the animals at the petting zoo were llamas. At the llama enclosure, my nephew started to agitate one of the llamas by stroking it a bit too hard. His parents asked him a few times to not stroke the llama like that, but he did anyway. The llama got agitated that he spit on him in retaliation. After he got spit on, I immediately burst out laughing and my nephew started to cry. The laughter lasted for a good 2 to 3 minutes. I was the only one that was laughing over it. Not even my parents found it funny. After I stopped laughing, my sister came up to me and started to shout at me. She said, "How would you like it if you were his age and people laughed at you over that?" I responded to her that it's not a big deal, but she insinuated that he could be traumatized by what happened. She wouldn't speak to me or even look at me for the rest of the day. My mom said that she won't talk to me until I apologize to both her and her son. Why should I apologize? In my opinion, I didn't even do anything wrong. It's not like he was harmed by it. Am I the idiot for laughing at my 5-year-old nephew getting spit on by a llama at a petting zoo? You're the idiot. Letting a quick laugh escape would not be that big of a deal, but openly laughing for 2 to 3 minutes at the misfortune of a 5-year-old is a prick move. Next time, either pull yourself together or excuse yourself until you can. You're the idiot. Your nephew was being too rough and quickly learned the consequences of his actions. He's literally 5. He's supposed to learn lessons like this at that age. The situation definitely sounds funny, don't get me wrong, but the way you reacted makes you sound extremely immature. Your sister is absolutely right. It is embarrassing to get laughed at like that, and your nephew is only 5 years old, which makes it even worse. In the future, a chuckle will do. Show some damn restraint. Now for the next story. Would I be an idiot if I start bluntly telling my family-in-law not to comment on my husband's breadwinning skills? For context, my male 30 husband and I, female 29, have been together for about 10 years and married for 6. I think we're a great match. We communicate very well, have a lot of fun together, and are a good team. However, my husband, bless his soul, is a bad capitalist. When we were younger and in school, we were always broke and both worked minimum wage jobs to make ends meet. We split expenses half-seas and both went through at least a dozen retail food service gigs in that time. Over the past couple years, I've found strong footing in my career. I'm in tech, fall of 2021. I got a big raise and broke 6 figures for the first time. At that point, my husband was working an office job with a 3-hour commute, and his mental health was really suffering. Plus, he was gone for 12 hours a day and always tired. I missed spending time with him. I suggested he quit his job and pursue his passion for filmmaking. He went to school for video editing. After a lot of talking and planning, we decided to go for it. He quit his job, we put aside some cash every month as a film budget, and he's made a few short films and is working on a documentary. I think it's been great. I work from home and it's been much less lonely with him around. He makes dinner, does the shopping, manages daily chores, helps me drink enough water and encourages me to go on walks or make it to the gym. Helpful reinforcement of habits I get distracted from. He spends several hours a day writing, editing, marketing, or networking. However, the shitty part is that a lot of his family makes invalidating or snide comments about our arrangement. His brother has said things like, "Some of us have to give up childish dreams and work real jobs." His parents have made insinuations that I will get sick of it and leave him for not contributing. His sister's husband, who I would never want to be married to for the record, said something driving at how he's not good enough for me in private at a family wedding. I feel like in general he is low-key disrespected as a man by these people, and it pisses me off so badly. I don't think money is a good measure of how good a person or a partner you are, and just because his films don't make money doesn't mean they don't have value. Would it be wrong of me to start calling these people out when they say these things? I don't want to alienate his family, and I'm not sure I can change their ingrained idea that men are supposed to be breadwinners, but it's mean and disrespectful of them, right? Not the idiot. But I strongly encourage that you and your hubby get on the same page about you calling these people out. Realistically, it may be seen as you standing up for him and make it worse. Unfortunately, so communication between you and your partner is key in moving through this. Good luck, not the idiot, for wanting to. I think you need to discuss it with your husband, seeing it is his family and his honor you're talking about. He needs to stand up to his family, really. Create a united front. I wouldn't go in guns blazing if he wasn't okay with it. They could then argue that you're the man of the house, protecting him, and he's not man enough to do it himself. You know? Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for not ending my vacation early and rushing home for the birth of our grandchild? Myself and my wife were on a 2-week vacation in Cancun, Mexico. We're from the US and planned all year for this trip and saved up money to be able to go on this trip. Edit. We booked and paid before my daughter was pregnant. It was our 6th day there when our daughter 26 boyfriend called us saying she was giving birth and we had to get on the next plane ride home. We were aware my daughter was soon to pop, but her due date wasn't until the end of this month. Mind you, these events took place in the beginning of this month. We told him that was impossible, and just to follow their birthing plan and to keep us updated. A few hours later, we got a call from my daughter updating us, then asking when we'd be on our way back, and that she really wanted us to be here, and that it had taken longer than expected. She was scared, etc. She's a first-time mom, so it was expected for her to be scared. My wife and I assured her everything would be fine, but we were unable to just pack up and go. She got upset and hung up on me. Hours later, in the middle of the night, we missed a call due to us sleeping, and it was her boyfriend saying there were complications and they were performing emergency C-section. The next morning, we called immediately, and our daughter told us she was scared and things could have gone bad, and our Cancun trip was more important to us than her, then hung up. We tried to call back, but she wouldn't answer. The baby was born healthy, and our daughter is okay. We have only seen pictures of our grandchild through Facebook because our daughter hasn't let us see her and has barely spoken to us since we've been back home. We had planned to be there for our grandchild's birth, but we couldn't leave 6 days into a trip we spent a large amount of money on. Even if we did, we wouldn't make it back on time. Even if we did make it back, we couldn't do anything the doctors couldn't in the situation. I feel as though our daughter is being too harsh to us. We have apologized many times. No idiots here. For not ending your vacation early, that would be a bit much and silly. You didn't purposely go away when the baby was due. I don't think your daughter is an idiot because she's upset and didn't feel supported. I will say, I think it sucks that you weren't calling to check in, sleep through something major. It's so great that her and the baby are okay, but with an emergency surgery, things could have gone a very different way. No idiots here. But actions have consequences. It doesn't matter if internet strangers reassure you of your decision. Your very real daughter has equally valid feelings and can choose to act accordingly. If she doesn't want to see you and needs space, then don't insist on violating that. Maybe go on another vacation since you seem to care about those just as much.